In the year 980 CE, in a small town called Avicenna, near Bukhara, now part of Uzbekistan, a boy named Abu Ali al-Husayn ibn Abdullah ibn Sina was born, who would later become known to the world as Ibn Sina, or Avicenna in the West. Ibn Sina was born during the golden age of Islamic civilization, a period when knowledge flourished across the Muslim world, from Andalusia in the west to Central Asia in the east. His father was a scholar and government official of Persian descent, living in Bukhara, one of the major centers of learning at that time. From a young age, Ibn Sina demonstrated remarkable intelligence. His father recognized his son's potential and hired the best teachers for him. But often, the teachers themselves were overwhelmed by the depth of his questions and reasoning. By the age of 10, Ibn Sina had memorized the Quran and had already studied foundational subjects like mathematics, logic, philosophy, and astronomy. But he didn't stop there. He began learning medicine at the age of 13, and within just a few years, he had become a respected physician, treating patients with great skill. At only 18 years old, Ibn Sina successfully cured the ruler of Bukhara, who had an illness that other doctors couldn't treat. As a reward, he was granted access to the Samanid Royal Library, one of the largest and most complete libraries of its time. There, Ibn Sina immersed himself in a sea of knowledge, studying the works of ancient Greek, Indian, Persian, and earlier Muslim scholars such as Al-Farabi and Hippocrates. That library became the place where his mind truly blossomed. Ibn Sina was not only a thinker but also a prolific writer. He wrote over 450 works, though only about 240 have survived to this day. Among them, two stand out as his most influential. Al-Qanun fi al-Tibb, the Canon of Medicine, a 5-volume encyclopedia of medicine. This book became the main medical reference in both the Islamic world and Europe for over 600 years, until the 17th century. It systematically covered diagnosis, treatment, pharmacology, and anatomy. Kitab al-Shifa, the Book of Healing, a vast philosophical and scientific encyclopedia that covers logic, natural sciences, mathematics, and metaphysics. It is a monumental work that showcases his deep philosophical thought. However, Ibn Sina's life was not always peaceful. Due to political upheaval in Persia and Central Asia, he was often forced to move from one city to another, sometimes even going into hiding or using disguises to avoid capture by rulers who opposed him. He was even imprisoned at one point, but even in prison, he continued writing important works. Ibn Sina is remembered as the father of modern medicine for his rational and systematic approach to health and disease. But his contributions extended far beyond medicine. Philosophy. He synthesized Aristotelian philosophy with Islamic theology, astronomy. He critiqued and improved the Ptolemaic system, chemistry, and pharmacy. He pioneered methods of extraction and distillation, psychology. He identified the relationship between the mind and physical health. He served as a bridge between ancient Greek knowledge and the Western world. When his works were translated into Latin in the 12th century, Europe, on the cusp of the Renaissance, was greatly influenced by his ideas. Ibn Sina passed away in the year 1037 CE, at the age of 57, in the city of Hamadan, Persia, modern-day Iran. Though he died relatively young, his legacy has endured for centuries. He was buried in Hamadan, and his tomb remains a site of pilgrimage and reverence for scholars and lovers of knowledge. Ibn Sina is a shining example of what can be achieved when intellect, curiosity, and perseverance come together in a single human being. He lived in an era when the pursuit of knowledge was a form of worship, and critical thinking was seen as a way to draw closer to God. His story teaches us that knowledge knows no boundaries, of nation, religion, or language. A child from a small town in Central Asia changed the world, because he never stopped learning.